Hi, I'm Heather. I blog at Lark and Lola, the crafty decorating blog that you are at now, watching this. I'm doing my first video tutorial today, so you'll have to bear with me. I'll probably be stuttering and saying a lot. But I wanted to show you, for my first video tutorial, how I make my paper garlands, which have been very popular. I've been making these for about 5 or 6 years now, and they've been really popular. This is one I made. You can see it all. It says bonjour. I've made them in all kinds of phrases. I make them for baby showers that say a baby's name on them. I've made them for weddings. I've made a 2-tiered happy birthday garland that's very popular. I've sold them in shows and at my craft markets that I've done. I used to say that I would never do a tutorial on my fancy paper garlands because it was really something that I came up with on my own, and I liked to sell them, and I sold them like hotcakes. But these days I have 2 little ones and I'm not selling them as like I used to. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna make some Halloween garlands today, and I might as well show some of my readers how I make these, because a lot of people have written me and commented on the blog, or even some friends have said, you really need to show us how you make those. So I saw some similar garlands a couple years ago that Martha Stewart did, but mine are unique. I've never seen anyone else make them quite like I do. At least I've never seen that. So I'm going to show my techniques today. It's really, it's not too complicated. If you have a craft room, you probably have all these supplies, and I'm not going to list the supplies in the video because it's probably going to be long enough anyway, but I will put the supply list with this blog post and with the video. So first things first, we're going to be making the paper star. I call them rosettes, but they kind of look like stars. They've got like 10 points. Today I'm making a boo garland because I'm going to go boo my friends for Halloween, and I can make these for all seasons and all different kinds of themes. So today is going to be like a black, orange, and white color scheme. So to start with that, you need cardstock, a 12 by 12 cardstock or scrapbooking paper. It can be just patterned on one side, like these ones are. Making a mess. So you're going to take a 12 by 12 and just cut it right in half down the middle. So you have 2 6 by 12 strips of paper. Set that aside. Since my second daughter was born, I lost my craft room. It came a nursery, so I'm doing it at my kitchen table now. So I have this 6 by 12. This will make one of these little rosettes. I'm just going to mark every 2 inches is all I need with a pencil. On my back side, if you're using a one-sided scrapbook patterned paper, and you're going to make with your right side of the pattern you want showing facing down, you're going to start to fold in 1-inch accordion style all the way down. Okay, last fold. So you should have that's correct. And so this side is your right side. So real quick, we're going to take off at a 45-degree angle these corners toward the back side. This is my back side, so I'm going to be taking it off like that, so there will be points toward the front. I used to use scissors to chomp through all that paper, but after a while I got smart and I found a rotary cutter works best, which is why I have a self-healing mat when I craft these. This is my sewing mat because my crafting one is like disgusting. So you just roll it back and forth real quick at an angle. The angle doesn't have to be exact. You can just eyeball it. Just take off that corner. So you have this. So you have this. This is the front side. This is going to be the back side. You're going to fold it in half, both ways, just to kind of crease it. And then I always keep Tupperware Mod Podge on me. You're going to just apply a liberal amount of glue on one side of Mod Podge. I love Mod Podge, right? Doesn't every crafter love Mod Podge? And glue it together using a binder clip to hold it in place. And I like to position my binder clip right up to the point so that the point gets nice and adhered. Same thing on the other side. So now you can see how it's coming together. And this is a pretty common craft, doing these paper rosettes. I'm sure for most of you this isn't the first time you're seeing some sort of paper folded rosette coming together. So you just match the points up and clip it with a binder clip. So that's the beginning of the garland. We've made the paper part, and next I will show you how to do the crepe paper rosette in the middle, which just is the prettiest part. We're gonna let this dry for 5 or 10 minutes. It really doesn't take very long for this to dry, and sometimes I'll just make a bunch assembly style and then just let these sit for just a few minutes before I need more binder clips, so I'll pull them off. So let that sit for 5 or 10 minutes and then we'll do the next part. Okay, so the next part to the rosette, which you can do while these are drying, we're going to make the middle part with the letter. Now I printed these off. Most of my garlands I use this font, which is Romantiques from dafont.com. You can download it for free, DAFONT.com, Romantiques, and I use that. This is about, I usually do it at 120 points or so, and this, for my Halloween garlands, I do one called Outlaw, which you can get at the same font site, dafont.com, DAFONT.com. And this is about, it was about 170 points, but you just want to print them out on cardstock. Today I was only able to print it out on regular paper, so I'll fix that later. But you print it out on cardstock, and then I use a 2 5/16 scalloped round punch to punch them out to make the letters. So to add our crepe paper ruffles, just love crepe paper. Okay, I cut off 2.5 feet, I don't know, of crepe paper. If you don't have enough, you can always add more. And we're going to put the letter face down. Now I used to make it roughly, I used to sew up and down each strip of crepe paper with a needle and thread and cinch it together to make it into a nice little round rosette, which took forever, and I would always prick my fingers. And then one day I got smart and I realized, hello, you can just use double-sided sticky tape. So that's what I do, and that's what you should too. Just kind of put some sticky tape around. Doesn't have to be exact, just around most of the edges on the back side of your letter. And it's much simpler than sewing. You're just going to take the tail end of one end of your crepe paper strip and just start putting it down. If you can see what I'm doing, you just start scrunching it down onto the back of the letter, going around, pressing it into double-sided sticky tape, and go all the way around. If you run out and you didn't cut enough, just cut more off and start scrunching it down, because it'll just blend in. Trust me, I've done a lot of these. When you get to the end, you're going to put one more little strip of sticky tape and scrunch it over where you started. And you're just going to cut off the tail. kind of is a messy craft. So there I have crepe paper ruffles around my letter. Now the one thing about sewing with the needle and thread was that I got this perfect round crepe paper ruffle. Whereas scrunching it on, it's a little bit more messy. So what I do, because I like to make it round, you don't have to do this, but I just trim it. Kind of about, I don't know, just shy of an inch. All the way around. Kind of just make it all even into a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. So there we have these crepe paper ruffles. It's kind of flimsy right now, so what I like to do, I sound like Martha Stewart. What I like to do is take this, and I have my little Tupperware of glitter. I used to use German glass glitter, which is really pretty on these garlands. You probably can't see it in the video, but there is a layer of glitter all around the edges of the crepe paper ruffles. But these days I just use Martha Stewart's silver glitter. I'm just going to take this and just go all the way around, dipping the very edges into Mod Podge, just to get a little bit on the edges. And one really good thing about doing this is once it dries, it firms up. So these actually become a lot more durable, because right now it's kind of flimsy. But the glue hardens and the glitter, and it just makes it a lot more durable. So these garlands look very dainty and pretty, but they're more durable than they look. And shake off the excess. Now really quick before that dries, I'm going to place it. I know my clips are still on there. I might even be able to, see, they dry so fast. Just in case I'm gonna leave them on. So these are the sides where the clips are holding it together, where you glued it together are the sides, and you want your letter going up and down the middle through these 2 points at the top and the 2 points at the bottom. Sometimes they're not perfect, but so I'm going to set that down, and right away after glittering the edges, just going to dab some glue on the back of my letter, and the edges are still, there's a little bit of glue, so that'll help hold it also. And I'm just going to position it right over the center, perfectly in the middle, and just press it firmly down, gently but firmly. So yeah, so see how the top of the letter should be right between the top 2 points. That's important later. We'll get to that later. So that is how you do it. It's pretty easy at this point. So I'm going to finish the rest of my boo letters, and once they dry, I will show you how to string them together into a pretty little boo garland. So I have my finished boo garland rosettes here. We are going to punch holes. This is one important part to punching the holes. As you can see, the top of the letter I line up to come through the top 2 points. So here's where we glued together, and here's where we glued together, and this is the middle. And we're going to punch holes on the outsides of the top 2 points. That's one important thing. It doesn't matter quite where you put, you don't have to be exact with where you put the points. But, so they just need to be on this side, kind of toward the top. I do it about a ½ inch in. Punch a hole. Right there. So there's a hole here and a hole here. And that's where our ribbon is going to go through. I'm just going to do that real quick on each one. So you're going to take ribbon. Sometimes, like you can see with my Bonjour garland, I like to use like a satiny kind of ribbon. This is probably my favorite one to use. Sometimes I use wired ribbon. Sometimes I buy wired ribbon and then I pull the wires out just because I like the look of the wired ribbon. Sometimes I run the wires through it. Today I'm using a kind of sheer ribbon. So you want to make sure that you do your letters in the correct order. You go in and the ribbon comes out behind the 2 points. So this is my last character in the blue garland. I measured enough ribbon for the 4 letters or 4 characters, and then I measured about 18 inches to 2 feet for the bows at the end. So I'm working backwards. You can work either way. Sometimes if I'm not sure how much ribbon I'll need, I'll leave the spool attached and just work my way onto it. And then once I'm done, especially with those long garlands that are like 12 spaces, when I'm done I'll cut the excess. There we go. So the finishing touches on the garland, you're going to make rabbit ears. 2 loops. 2 loops with the ends of the ribbon on each side of your garland. You're going to tie it in a knot. And then just kind of fuss with it a little. Turn it into a pretty bow. It's a nice bow on the end. I always snip my garland off at an angle so I make that kind of nice edged ribbon. So I do that on one end and then kind of work the garland a little bit. One's a little fragile. And I'll hold it up to look at it, make sure they're evenly spaced. I'm going to move this one over just a tad. So I'm pretty happy with the way this is looking. So I'm going to finish up the other side. My husband just walked into the room. Say hi.
You always scowl at me?
Yes. I don't like to do my videos around people. It's like self-conscious. So there you have the garland with bows at each end. It's ready to hang, but I just put 2 more quick little touches on the garland to make it really finished. The first thing I do is I take a glue gun and I will put a little dab of glue in between the parts on the bow, and that is just a little bit, so that the bow doesn't come undone if someone pulls on it, because I want this to last a long time and be decoration. You know, this one's a Halloween garland, so I want people to pull it out every year and be able to use it. So I put a little dab of glue so that when the glue hardens and cools, you can't undo this bow. And then the very last part, and you should only do this with synthetic ribbon. If you're using cloth ribbon, cotton ribbon, you should not try this. But I take a lighter and just really quickly run it over the edges. And you can see, you can feel with your fingers, it just kind of hardens the edges so that you don't fray your ribbon. So there is my Halloween boo garland. That's how I make all my garlands. Again, I will show you with my tangled up here. Pretty pastel scrapbooking papers. I made this bonjour garland. I have a really long one in my doorway right next to me that says Carpe Diem. So sometimes I'll use like a symbol to separate words. That one has a crown in between Carpe Diem. And I hope you enjoyed my first video tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you choose to feature these garlands on your blog or wherever, please do link back to me. I would really appreciate that. This is sort of my one little creation that I came up with. You might see other garlands that are very similar on the internet, and I'm not surprised. I think these rosettes and the crepe paper and all that and the glitter are really popular right now. But this is how I do it. This is my thing, and they make for great gifts and great home decor. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial, and if you use it, please let me know and leave a comment. So I would love to see it. Thanks for watching.